Want some candy?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
I hear you looking for candy, man, bitch.
Give me some sugar, baby. Like scary movies.
Want some candy?
I'm sure there was other people. She just didn't fucking so. Let's do it.
All right. You guys ready?
Yep.
All right. Hello, candy killers. This is Longlegs. Welcome back to another episode of Monster Candy Podcast.
I'm the cocaine clown, bitch.
What's up, everybody? We're back again. Oubliette Sparks from Tsunami Bomb. Gucci T, Mike Terry from the Jukebox Romantics, and myself, Streamin' E from the Memphis Murderman. You've guessed it right, or read it right. We're going to talk about Oz Perkins' new CAGED film.
Longlegs.
But before we get into any of that,
Wait. We're not going to just let this go. You did a great impersonation. That's like pretty good.
oh,
It's very good.
there's
But I didn't
things.
realize how much he sounded like the cocaine clown. From
Oh yeah,
Metalocalypse
there's
until
lots-
you just did that.
we're going to get into that. But first, we're going to talk about some That's right, horror news brought to you by Time Bomb Toys from Pittsburgh,
shit.
Pennsylvania, our first official sponsor.
Awesome.
Likes us. They really do like
Yeah.
us.
Located at 300 Camp Horn Road in Pittsburgh, PA. Check them out if you're in town, or check them out at timebombtoys.com. So
They got good shit.
they do,
Nice.
and that's part of my horror news. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah. Did you that was part Monster during Monster, right?
yeah. I mean,
You
Well,
saw them when you were over there, though, right? Like
yeah, I
how
see
was
them.
your- How was your trip?
It was cool. It was
Cool.
the Monster Bash is a strictly like classic horror convention in Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's North Pittsburgh, it's Cranberry Township area, but it's just all old stuff with some a little bit new, but nothing like no 80s really, 70s. It's all like classic monsters.
Nice. That's great.
So if you're
Yeah, the
looking for
pictures
like
look cool.
yeah, if you're looking for old shit like vintage monster stuff, you'll be more apt to find it there versus any of the other ones that go on in Pittsburgh. But
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot in Pittsburgh. It's good.
yeah, it's moved around a few times. It used to be in a few different locations. Was in Butler for a little bit way back in the day. But yeah, it's cool. And I haven't been there in years. And I was like, I need to find some old famous monster shit that I can't find anywhere else. So I checked out there. But anyway, who's got some horror news?
I think we should talk about how Mike T's breastfeeding right now.
I mean,
this cast.
Yeah.
Can you
Terry's
guys
got the,
hear it? Can you hear his
No.
squeaks? Okay.
No.
Can you hear my
And
nipples
big
pop?
horror news, his little baby's first movie was the movie we're doing today.
Oh, it's
Jesus
true. They
Christ.
even gave him a certificate, which is fucking wild. And a bunch of people were like, "Oh, you didn't get a picture of you guys like in the theater or like in front of the screen?" And I tried after the movie, and it was like they had already changed. Like it's like a digital one, so it had already changed. So it didn't say the name of the movie anymore. So we didn't do it. And we were like the last ones in the theater because I started feeding him during the third act. And so the movie ended really abruptly not abruptly, but I felt like it was really short. I was like, oh, I guess we're sitting here till the lights come on. They start cleaning because I'm not getting up. And that's what happened.
Fine. Don't worry.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Horror news.
Yeah.
I got some news that,
My
you
nipples
know,
are really raw from breastfeeding.
They are. That is my news. When I started this journey with you guys as a special guest here, and now a more frequent guest, I was a pretty positive guy. I think I don't know if it's just the choice. I don't know if it's the movies that have been coming out. It's definitely not the movies I'm choosing to watch because I watch like everything that comes out. but maybe it's some of the stuff we cover or just what's happening in 2024.
Are we
It's the
breaking you?
movies.
Dude, I am just okay, we could talk about my piece of news that they announced Walk in the Woods 2 is coming out. And In a Violent Nature 2 is coming out. And it seems like they already started making it or they announced
Yeah.
it.
Why? Who knows?
It made enough money that they were like, all right, let's do it. And you know what? I will I will watch it. I just will not pay to watch it because I want to see if they do anything different. Imagine they make the same fucking movie.
I mean, that would kind of be awesome if they just did that and was.
They probably will.
I mean, that'll kind of be awesome.
People
for them
like
to
it.
do
I mean, fucking whatever.
yeah.
It'd be cool if they did it from somebody else's point of view, like the same movie, like the
Or
same
like a
exact
crotch
movie.
view.
Yeah.
Or he has like a little buddy this time in their
What?
view.
Oh, what if it's the same exact movie, but from somebody else in the movie's perspective?
That's what I meant. That's what. Yeah, that's
Oh,
like the
I
chick.
thought you meant like a.
Oh, you
whole
meant
new
like from like
story with, like a different person.
okay,
Yeah.
got it. Yeah, no, I meant like from like a somebody.
Mhm.
You know, the final girl that wasn't really a final girl or something.
Right. I mean, that would honestly make sense and be kind of cool if they could pull it off better than they did the first one. But yeah,
Maybe they already shot it, and it's
maybe.
like
I mean,
like
that would
Pearl
make
and-
sense.
and X, and we
Yeah.
didn't even know. And that's why it's greenlit, because they're like, we already got it. We
Yeah.
had somebody with
Yeah.
a fucking
We're just
GoPro the whole
waiting.
movie. You just didn't see it.
We got all this B-roll of Woods walking. You might as well use it.
That's
Yeah.
insane. Well, I mean, yeah,
That's-
I'll not pay for it and see it, but
That's my news.
all right.
Well, I have one that I am excited about, and I gotta tell you,
That's all that matters.
like Mike, recently I have not, in the last couple weeks, been feeling excited about much because I'm a little scared to feel excited about things anymore.
Why do you
Like, at
build me
all.
up,
Ever.
buttercup, baby, just to let
'cause-
oops down?
Yeah, because I feel like I got fucking
Mhm.
slapped with some cross-dressing 70s rock star's dick across my face right now, but whatever.
Yeah.
We're talking
Hey,
about
to
that
some,
in
that's a
little
good
bit.
time or a good
Yeah.
memory.
Not this person. Anyways, at Comic-Con, they just announced Hellboy is back.
hmm
And so I really like the comics. I loved reading what is it, BRPD? Paranormal BPRD.
Right.
And they're doing the Crooked Man storyline, which is a fucking badass story. And this is going to be a full horror movie. I watched
it.
the trailers. A lot of people are aching it to Evil Dead. I wouldn't go that far because it's just a teaser.
Right.
But in the teaser, pretty much immediately, this fucking raccoon just like goes in this cabin and goes down this person's throat and like takes over their body, and it's awesome.
Is it out the
Bones are all
trailer or
cracked
just
and
like
break-
leaked?
Just the teaser. No, they showed it at Comic-Con. You should
Got it.
check it out. It looks good. It's super short, but and it ends abruptly. But it got me excited. I had liked some of them. I was kind of disappointed in the last one, but I was
The last
always
one, the
looking
guy
forward to
from
them going
Stranger
darker.
Things did Hellboy,
Mhm.
right? Yeah.
And
I
that
didn't
one
see
they
that
said
one.
was darker and horror-ish, so I was really excited to see it, but it just like to me fell flat with any kind of like character emotions or anything. I think it was just
hmm
I don't know. It just didn't seem like a complete concept, and they didn't really think it out.
Are those
I don't
movies
hate it.
standalones? Like I've only seen the first one. Do they continue
So
on?
the first two are together, but you could watch them standalone. And the comics very much were kind of standalone with different cases, kind of.
Got it.
And then the last one, I don't think was a continuation. I think it's its own movie. I'd have to watch it again though, because honestly, I kind of just after I saw it. It had some cool, like if I remember correctly, kind of claymation-ish devil stuff, but it just I was excited and then not, kind of like I've been feeling lately.
yeah.
But this one, I don't even the guy who's playing him, I like looked him up. He's been in some things I've seen. I don't really know him, Jack Kesey. But he looks good. The makeup looks good. They showed a couple pictures. So yeah, I'm excited. And hopefully it will be a fun and scary
barn
movie
burner.
and not disappointing.
Yeah. Well, we can hope.
And then I have one more that I don't believe I've talked about. I think I probably mentioned it on here before, but maybe not. But like maybe last year, yeah, it's got to have been, yeah, it was over a year ago. Um, on my band Tsunami Bomb's Instagram account, we got tagged by the actress Kanehito,
Mhm.
Kanehito Horn, who people would know from Reservation Dogs as Dear Lady. She's in Letterkenny. She's fucking. I knew her from Letterkenny. She's awesome, and now I know her from lots of other things. She was in like Hemlock Grove. She's done a ton of horror movies.
Mhm.
She was the lead in Mohawk. Anyways, she tagged us, and so I was like, "This is fucking awesome." So I liked it and reshared it, and she was like, dude, I can't believe you guys are back. I fucking love you. When I was a teenager, you were like one of my favorite bands. And it was funny because I was being all like giddy about talking to her, but she was acting kind of weird talking to us. And
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
like, I'm fangirling. And I'm like, I'm fangirling. We like send each other stuff, whatever. But she was like, hey, I just wrote this screenplay and we're about to film. And it's my first movie I've ever written and I'm going to direct. And it's called Seeds. And she's like, I want to use one of your songs. So yeah, we were like, yeah, of course. And she wanted to use one of the older songs from her teenage years, which was cool. But what's really awesome about it is I helped write, but I left the band right before The Ultimate Escape was recorded. But there's one recording of Take the Reins that still has keyboards on it. And it was before the producer made them change like the order of everything. Right. And it was on like a Warped Tour soundtrack. So when she said she wanted to take the reins, I was like, Dom, can we hunt down like the masters of this song? And we didn't think we were going to. So we found that one. So we sent that one and the one everyone's heard to her. And we were like, hey, do you want like a more raw one that is like out of press, only was ever used once, whatever? And so she picked that one. So it's actually cool awesome. For like the first time other than that comp, it's like people get to hear the song like as and it was kind
you're
of
on it,
meant
so
to be.
and
yeah, and there's keyboards and they're awesome. But
yeah,
anyways, the horror news is it has a release date. I think it's coming out in October, but it's going to premiere at the Toronto International Film Festival.
Oh, sweet.
And then I just read something else that I think it's going to be over at
No.
Fest.
No. There's no French people in Toronto.
Oh,
yeah, wrong part.
That's Montreal. Sorry.
Yeah. But it's cool. I was really lucky. I got to read the screenplay. She emailed it to me like that night that we met. Like, you want to read this? And I'm like, fuck yeah, I want to read it. And it's cool. It's like it is a horror movie about like a girl who kind of becomes an influencer with some like, I forget if it's like an organic company, but it's like basically a company that's not what it's all cracked out to be, but it brings in the like Native American aspect of it and the reservations and just kind of goes back to like, land issues and stuff. Right. But it's like a bloodbath movie. It's
well,
like
that's cool.
One against the world kind of. So I'm
we
really
do love the blood.
To see how they did that. And she got a bunch of the people, like well-known native actors to be in it. You'll recognize a lot of them. And yeah, it's her debut and it's cool because we're a part of it. So I'm sure it won't suck. Because I'm excited. And when I'm excited, things are good.
Well, it won't, at least the part with you guys, and it won't suck. And I'm confident in that.
What if that's the worst scene?
I mean, then you could just blame it on the movie. Like, we did our part. The song's awesome.
We did our part in like 2001.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm excited.
So. Yeah, that's exciting news. It's always fun to be in a movie.
But in a very rational level of excitement. Like I'm rational now about all of it. I'm not getting like,
right.
Schoolgirl excited about shit.
Very even-keeled excitement. I understand.
Yep, just kind of, I'm just feeling it could be promising, right?
Right. At the very least, the song's in a movie. And that's, now we got to wait for fucking Terry to get any jukebox romantic songs in movies.
Yeah, actually, it's funny you say that.
He has a fucking awesome song that he wrote for a movie. It's
Yeah,
so
we got
good.
commissioned. Yeah, we got commissioned to do a song for a movie last year. It's like a short film,
Mhm.
and actually in the contract, I had them say like if the movie wasn't out in a year, that we can release a song if we want. And so it's been a year, so we're shooting the music video in 2 weeks, and
Okay.
I just ordered a bunch of shit for the video because it's basically
It's my
I don't want
favorite
to.
jukebox song.
Thanks. I don't want to spoil. I don't want to spoil like the movie, but it's like I don't know. I have all the raw footage, and didn't really watch any of it with audio, so I don't know if it's a horror comedy, but it sounds like a horror comedy, or it sounds like there's comedy elements. But it's basically about vegans who were cannibals or something like that, and it's I don't know. It has to do with pizza. So I got a bunch of
Pizza's good.
pizza. I got a bunch of Jukebox Romantics pizza guy shirts made that are the same logo from the movie.
Okay.
So we're shooting a video like in a basement and in a pizzeria, and kind of just going to splice together all the movie footage. It's cool. I don't know how long the movie's going to be. I think it's like 5 to 10 minutes. I guess it's a real short film. But yeah, so it should come out soon. It looks gory as fuck. There's like a guy on a table with a missing leg, and it looked really good. I was like, oh, this was well done.
That's awesome. And it's super ironic that the person with the band that is most rooted in horror has a song in a movie that has absolutely nothing to do with horror and is about young teenage love.
That's amazing.
And a super drama. Like, yeah, damn it.
Love it.
I mean, whatever. It
That's
happens.
great.
It happens
Yeah.
that way.
I don't know, dude. Our first songs were pretty horror-y. I think yours is the deepest rooted in horror.
Yeah.
I don't know. Rotting vampire eyeballs. No.
I mean,
Contra
yeah.
del Muerte.
yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, we've been a horror punk band for a strictly horror punk band for quite some time. But anyway, that's funny. That's awesome. We're all in movies. So everyone
Hell yeah.
should fucking kiss our asses.
Yeah, look how cool we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other horror news?
King Spawn. You guys hear about King Spawn?
I heard about it, but
Is it
Just-
confirmed?
I don't know. I just saw what's his nuts? McFarlane post something about it on like Twitter or some shit.
Yeah,
in
he posted
passing.
like the script or something, or like the
Yeah.
the front of the script, but it's Blumhouse, so it's gonna suck.
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see.
I mean, I thought the original Spawn, I liked it. For a comic book movie, I was like, yeah, this
Yeah.
feels
it's
like a
fine.
comic book movie.
I was a kid and Spawn was huge at that time, so I was down
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
but hopefully it'll be good. All right, I got two horror newses.
Cool.
One,
News Eye.
The Beast Within. Did anyone read anything about that? Okay, so it's another werewolf
No.
movie coming out. It should be out already. It said it hit theaters or on its way to theaters July 26th, which was a few days ago. It's starring Jon Snow, and he's a werewolf.
yeah.
He's a werewolf dad.
The soft hands.
The trailers look all right. It looks like it could be a little more dramatic as far as like horror movies go, like more thriller. Like there's definitely a werewolf in it, but it has to do with a
It's got
family.
some low scores.
Yeah.
Wait, a werewolf movie that has to do with a family? Is it
Yeah.
not Teen Wolf 3?
Yeah, I mean, that'd be awesome. He'd actually be a good Teen Wolf.
Oh yeah.
But I will have to hunt that down and check that out because
I literally went on IMDb to look for this movie you're talking about.
Mhm.
And the first thing that popped up was, did you know there's a new Hellboy? I'm like, I knew just a few minutes ago.
I was
They
told.
heard us. Oh, we talked about something that we didn't talk about on here. We have an update about Swamp Thing.
Oh, right. Yeah, I didn't look too much into that, so take it away.
It was Swamp Thing, wasn't it? That they said was so bad they're not going to release it.
Oh no.
No.
No,
Toxic Avenger.
Toxic. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Toxic Avenger.
Yeah.
Yes. So in case anyone was looking forward to watching that, apparently it is so bad that it's unreleasable, and they're just fucking canning that shit.
Yeah, I
It's been
saw
a while since they canned something.
like I saw
heard
some
about it.
fans trying to spin it as if it was like so bad, meaning like just too over the top, like bad
No,
and
it's
like
fucking-
I was
no
like,
fucking
no,
way.
it means it's
No.
fucking it's terrible. That's why they didn't release it.
Yeah. No, we read enough about it.
That
it's
would be
not
like,
over the top.
yeah, the biggest plus about a movie. It's so over the top, we have to release it.
Yeah,
So,
people
yeah.
bank off of that, as they
1000%.
did on the movie we're about to fucking talk about.
Oh,
But
geez.
what they should do though with these things is when they're so bad that they can't be released, or any movie, there should be always a documentary team filming these movies,
Mhm.
because if a movie is that bad and it's unreleasable, that means there's another story that's
Oh, yeah.
probably more interesting to watch. Like if you ever
Nicolas
watch any of
Cage
this,
Superman.
there you go. Or the documentary about the island of Dr. Moreau, like the remake,
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's
like
crazy.
that shit. Or there's a I think there's a is it an actual documentary? I think it might be an actual documentary about the making of Green Inferno, like the Robert Rodriguez Eli Roth movie.
Oh, I thought there was one about the original.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. And I think Eli Roth did like an audio interview that was like, it was basically like an audio documentary talking about it. And it was way more interesting than the actual movie. So when it's
Right.
that bad, they should just do that. Like it can't
Yeah.
be, like it could it be that bad? Like
Yeah,
if it is, then I want to know why.
You got to capitalize on it somehow.
Yeah.
At least
It-
try and make
I
some
mean-
money back.
They apparently played it at Fantastic Fest last year, so we just need to talk to somebody who saw it. There's got to be.
They probably they signed an NDA though. They definitely signed an NDA or something.
No way. I've been to Fantastic Fest. I didn't sign shit.
No,
we-
Is-
We
does
don't
your
have to give their
ticket count?
name. Yeah, we don't have to give their name or
Mm.
anything.
That's true. We should
Be
talk.
like-
All right, we should just put them under a black cloak. Just
Yeah.
like
Yeah, I mean, some things have like stuff printed when you walk in, but like you might not see it. You didn't
Yeah,
sign your
right.
Name.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have one more thing that actually has to do with Bloody Disgusting. So I don't know if you guys saw a few weeks ago, maybe about a month ago, Bloody Disgusting did like this collaboration with Walmart to set up horror displays in Walmarts around the country with like, horror stuff, NECA, like whatever, like little things with Bloody Disgusting tags all over it. Which there's a couple different sides to this, and I get them all. It's like, all right, it's an opportunity. Bloody Disgusting probably got a bunch of money to do it, and anyone most likely would take that opportunity and chance to make more money for themselves, and I get it. And maybe in the long run it'll help the horror community, but there were a number of small business owners, like the horror storefront, the horror shops and brick and mortar stores, that were like, dude, what the fuck? Like, we understand getting that bag, but us as retailers already are fighting an uphill battle against the big name retailers selling like the same shit, because the markup we have to sell the same stuff for. I mean, even though it's not like a lot, like NECA, for example.
It's a lot, dude. I mean,
It's
at
a
the end
lot.
of the day,
Yeah.
when you're a
They don't
small
make-
business, it's
No, I mean, I'm just saying
The
like-
margin is nothing. For the
Right.
consumer, it's not that big of a deal.
Right,
But for
right.
the-
I mean, they sell like
Yeah.
in Walmart or Target, you can get some NECA figure for like $28, 30 and under, right? And usually at like a small business, it's 35. So like
right.
$5, $6, $7, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. But in the grand scheme of things, it's like, what the fuck? Like, we understand getting the bag, but also for a small community such as the horror community, which prides itself on like support indie horror or support indie horror artists, which doesn't just include special effects artists, like whatever filmmakers. It also means the small retailers that sell the shit. And but they rarely ever push small businesses, unless they're the small businesses that are so much bigger than all the other small businesses, which I'm like, okay, that's almost like a big chain at this point, the ones you're pushing.
Sure.
So like the people that I've talked to that own the stores are like, we get it, we understand. Like, sure, someone, Walmart or Target, came to us like, hey, want to do a collaboration? They'd be like, fuck yeah, I get a bunch of money. Like, they understand it, but they just wish, if you're gonna try and like promote yourselves as helping the horror community, like, you got to throw some shine on the actual small businesses that are already fucked from the beginning. Just a small business in general. We all know. Oops, you definitely know. I know as a former store owner, it's like, yeah, dude, like, there's not a big margin for profit that we're already kind of working
Oh,
against
I'm in the
for a number
restaurant
of stuff.
industry. Trust me, I know.
Right, you know. So because when I saw that, I was like, oh, I mean, that's cool, I guess, for them, but that kind of sucks because they could like, and it doesn't take a lot. Doesn't hardly takes any money to just like spotlight some fucking rando because there's not a
No,
lot.
it's bullshit because back in the day before the internet, really, everybody would be like, well, it's just them trying to get their product out to more people, and so
Right.
more people can shop at Walmart because there's Walmarts in a lot of places, and a lot of people shop there. But now we have this thing called the internet. So,
Right.
so if they could just do the same thing and be like, hey, we're doing a line of Bloody Disgusting Lionsgate, VHS things at these local retailers, and here's the links to their
Dude,
sites.
exactly.
Because people are already on bloodydisgusting.com, the website. It's not like they're picking
Right.
up Bloody Disgusting things at Walmart. So
Exactly. Exactly.
So it's and your average, I wouldn't even say your average, your person shopping at Walmart who picks up whatever action figure be like, Bloody Disgusting, what's that? Like
Yeah,
I
they're
feel
not giving a
like
fuck.
they already know what it is or don't care or won't even realize that it's a website. So
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
they
So
think it's just called a Bloody Disgusting figure or something. So
yeah. So I mean, I was like, dude, yeah, you guys got to do a little better. Because it's just, I don't know, man. It sucks. Because and with the internet, it doesn't take much to even share something. Like that's a good thing that Joe Ball Briggs and Darcy and the people from the Last Drive-In do all the time is they'll just share random. Like if you tag them, there's like
Oh yeah,
a
they're so good at
70%
it.
chance they'll just share your
Share
stuff,
it.
or retweet it, which would be great if Bloody Disgusting would do that, but they seem to only do that with like Trick or Treat Studios, like the biggest horror mask company in the
right.
country. And it's like, oh, or whatever bigger company, because that's all I ever see them share. And there can't be that many horror shops like tagging them. So
No.
it's like if something comes up, they're like, oh, what's this horror shop? Or have like a weekly little fucking section on the website, local horror shops you should check out. And then, but so yeah, I mean, I get both sides, but also, yeah, man, help the small guy out a little better because it's better for everybody in the long run. Horror bubbles up and then it fucking pops, and then it goes
Yeah.
back to the fucking independent people and the small businesses and the fans keeping it going again. So, do better. But yeah, that's all I got for horror news. Anyone else got anything? All right. Well, that's been Oh yeah, now we get to talk about Longlegs. that, that was a little more old guy from fucking
Family Guy.
Family Guy. It's
What
all
are
the
you
same.
doing, Brian? Come over.
Tiny
It's a little-
Tim, old guy,
Oh.
whatever.
It's it reminds me of the my spoon's too big.
This fucking movie.
All right, here's the synopsis real quick, which okay. Anyway, in pursuit of a serial
I'm
killer,
ready. Yep.
an FBI agent uncovers a series of occult clues that she must solve to end his terrifying killing spree. Yeah.
Okay. Just
But-
what the fuck? What in the fuck did we watch? I'm sorry. You guys are thinking the same thing as me. I mean,
Yeah.
they are brilliant. They're fucking brilliant with their social media, their commercials, the fucking phone number, all the shit. Like marketing team, A fucking plus. But there's no fucking way the movie I watched was the same goddamn movie for the reviews I read. I
No.
don't believe it. Like I think there are 10 different versions of this fucking movie because there's no other goddamn answer. I'm so ugh. What the fuck?
Dude, the three of us have very different opinions on this show, like a lot of times.
Yeah.
Like like varying degrees of
Yeah.
different type of horror that we like and that we lean to, and certain things, get our jollies going differently for each other. We all like different things.
I mean,
the
Mike
three
called
of us-
me just to be like, "What's going on?"
The three of us have very similar takes. I think as we talk about it, maybe we'll find out we don't, but our initial reaction coming out, and mind you, like once this movie sat with me for a few days,
I got
And I
bamboozled.
Mhm.
I know you got bamboozled, and I feel like we all did, but I feel like I was ready for it because when you said I don't know what I just saw, it put like a little thing in the back of my head, like, all right, this is not going to be what is presented. And you know what? It's not true. What they marketed to us is what they
No,
gave us. It just wasn't. It wasn't good. And
no.
this nonsensical bullshit that everybody's talking about how amazing it was and how, oh, you must not like good movies and
They're
you must have
lying.
not seen this movie and you must not have liked this movie. The difference is, and don't get me like it's shot beautifully. There's some great scenes and cinematography and
There's
it
good
looks
acting
cool
too.
and there's good acting and
The woman's
what
great.
oh yeah, and that opening scene is one of the scariest opening scenes in a long time. And then but beyond that, when everybody else is telling you about all the fucking cool things about this movie, it's because you went and you fucking read a bunch of interviews afterwards or beforehand, and you saw what they talked about, what the director talked about, and what they were talking about in their vision.
Oh, they
Because
fed it to you. Yeah.
all this bullshit when people are like, well, you just didn't get it because it really what it means is that it's about like being protected by a mother and a mother lying to their children and like lies parents tell their kids and all this other shit.
No,
Like,
it's not.
oh, you didn't know that he was a washed up rocker and he got too much plastic surgery because the devil took over him. I was like,
Nobody did.
they didn't tell you any of that in the movie.
No.
And who cares? Like who the fuck? Who cares? Okay, even all the artsy bullshit aside, and there was good acting and everything else, and let's just say fuck the storyline. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Right.
But let's just go to the basis of in the marketing, they're showing these posters of very violent things or
Mhm.
implying super violent deaths, right?
Right.
So yeah, I guess they did show us that, and that's all the movie did too. Because other than a fucking blood splatter, you don't see there's no real gore in this movie.
No.
It's all like kind of off camera and going on. Like I
Which is
expected
cool.
a serial killer movie with a lot more like a lot more action in that aspect. Like, and it wasn't. And here's the thing too: is all these people are talking about like, oh, art house films, blah blah, and what it means. This movie ripped off everything. It
Mhm.
fucking ripped off Zodiac so badly, so fucking badly.
Silence of
Poorly,
the Lambs.
poorly.
The fucking dolls? What the hell? That's like every shitty movie from the 80s, and they didn't even really explain the concept of the dolls. It's
Oh
just
no,
like
they're
Right.
gonna.
No.
fucking
You mean
bullshit.
you
It's
didn't get
the
that he was
sequel.
fucking yeah.
It's for the
You didn't get that
sequel.
he was cursing the balls and the dolls and they were like it's so
Yeah.
it's like
It-
I get it. Like it's not like I didn't get
It's
it.
just not good. It just wasn't
Yeah.
good. Like
Yeah.
the general
Plenty of shitty
premise,
cheesy movies have shit like that too.
Right,
They're not
right.
like mind blowing.
like you were saying, I mean, so you got Zodiac, you got Silence of the Lambs, you got Seven. There's like 5 different movies that they're like, oh, hey, we're just going to take what they did and kind of
Which is
put it to-
fine, but they
Right.
didn't do it well.
No, they did not do it well. And then
Well,
they're like,
and-
let's add this weird supernatural element right at the end to where everyone's like, what?
And then they don't fucking explain it. I mean, fuck, in the marketing, they went so deep in the marketing, even the trailers were named after T-Rex songs.
Right.
Like they created all this lore, my favorite word,
Yeah.
up to the movie. And then the movie happens and they don't fucking explain shit. They don't
Mm-mm.
explain shit. There's just some dolls in a fucking box, except for they read a poem. And if you take the time to go online and look up the whole fucking poem, apparently some kid blasphemes God or her dad, so Satan locks her in a box. And
Which
that is supposed to explain
You might
it
want to
all.
put that in the
Shit.
movie. You shouldn't have to go
Right.
online to
Well,
find.
apparently they say the first line or something in the movie. And we're
I-
supposed
yeah,
to
I-
fucking know this
I-
stupid
Nobody
poem.
knows that though.
No, see, this
Yeah.
is wrong. Movies
Satan
like
says
Donnie
it.
Darko, they had websites where you unlock things and you would get some more into the universe. And that's one thing, but there's not plot elements in this in the after research. That's
No.
not how a movie works.
No.
It doesn't
No.
doesn't make sense. And you know what? And if the detective work shit was bullshit. It was terrible.
Well, wait. Can we talk
okay.
about that for a second?
Okay, yeah.
All right. So,
She's autistic. Or
dude,
whatever.
exactly.
I mean,
She was
obviously.
fine. That didn't bother
But-
me.
No, she was a great actress. I didn't
But-
mind the autistic thing either,
right,
but I felt like
but-
they were trying to like kind of tone it down, but not so
Yeah,
much. And I
but
was like,
not
just
even
let her go
that.
full Rain Man on it. You
It
know?
was like
She didn't go full retard.
no, but she was like, all right, there's things where, if you're on the spectrum, you're going to be very diligent in doing like she was, but also she was a fucking like a mess.
Oh, yeah.
And the FBI is not going to hire someone that can barely talk to people going door to door. Like she was like, they're gonna be like, this chick is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And that was her whole character. And I'm like, okay,
Well,
that's
Or she'd
she
be a
said
person they would just bring out and bring her into a room and like
Right,
guard
right.
her and be like, okay, you've got 5 minutes, and then take
back
her
in your
back wherever
hole.
they keep her. Yeah.
well, are we to believe we're led to believe that she's psychic, possibly.
Yeah, that too.
Because
Yeah.
she scores really high on the psychic test, but then she said
Right.
she scored just as many wrong or whatever. And all the stuff that she does in the movie, like, and maybe it's part of the storyline, and maybe I'm not elevated enough to understand it, but she does not solve anything the whole time. Like, you know that, right?
No.
You notice that, like, she's wrong with the wrong house, and
Right.
then in the beginning, which that whole first 5-10 minutes was great. Like, I'm not going to knock the beginning of that movie. That opening scene is terrifying.
Dude,
that jump cut is really scary.
All right.
I was locked in when the fucking gunshot and her partner gets blown away, and then it just nosedives. And
So-
it's not like I wasn't paying attention. Like, I was into the movie, but I was just waiting. I was like,
Right.
okay. And then like I'd be like, ooh, spooky devil shadow. Ooh, spooky devil shadow. Ooh. And then like I saw like 5 or 6 of them. And then 3 days later online, it's like, did you see all 15? I'm like,
Yeah, Jesus
do I have to go
Christ.
back? And do I have to go back now? Does that make it better that I missed them? I don't know.
So we're all gonna be jumping around, and you mentioned
Sorry, I'm
something.
sorry,
Oh, no,
yeah.
no, that's fine because it's not like it's what this movie does.
This one cannot be formatted. We
Yeah,
are
no,
going-
no. We're just
going
gonna
full
we're-
long legs. on
yeah,
this
we're just going for it.
review.
Oh, it's,
A little bit
The-
of everything.
the opening scene is I was impressed because that was a very Cabinet of Dr. Caligari German impressionist thing. And I was like, oh, that's all right, Oz Perkins. That's fucking cool. That's very
Yeah, people were
Dr.
cheering in my
Caligari.
theater.
Right.
We were like, yeah.
I'm like, that's
and then
awesome.
We felt shitty after it.
Yeah. And then the movie started. And I'm like, oh. And then Nicolas Cage is in there. And I'm like, what in the fuck?
Dude, when he comes out, like I can't, like so I guess I audibly said, like, are you fucking kidding me? Because my little sister was in town visiting. So of course I bought her a ticket, and she like turned to me and was like, what is this? Like, what is this garbage? I was like, I'm sorry. Like, I instantly felt so bad that I brought her and my husband to see the movie. 'Cause I had drinking the Kool-Aid, and I thought that if it was bad, it was gonna be fucking hilarious. Because I was like,
Well,
"This
at least you didn't
thing
bring your fucking 1-month-old.
it's going to be hilarious." But it wasn't funny. There wasn't anything. But I mean, Nicolas Cage, when he first starts talking, it was funny, but it lost funniness real quick when you realize that was the reality of this movie.
Right. And that's the other thing. It's like, all right, there's 3 different movies. That's the best filter ever. 3 different movies going on. There's the like thriller part where it's the FBI agents trying to find the killer. Cool. That's fine. Then you have the supernatural end part. That's like a different movie, which they try and mash the 2 together, which it's not a
fucking
cohesive
end,
thought.
I can't, when the doll maker thing happened,
Right,
I just
right.
can't.
Well,
I
and
can't
then
fucking get on board.
What
with it, and
happened?
loved
Right.
shit
I
like
didn't.
that.
Did I change the background?
You did.
Yeah,
And
I
then
hate that
there's
now.
so there's 2 movies, and then there's Nicolas Cage doing Nicolas Cage in his own separate movie. And I'm like, how's this? This can't be serious. And I know why people
Did you
get
even
Nicolas
see what
Cage.
the fuck he said?
Oh, which one? Which
Well,
thing?
he said so many things. but
Yeah.
This one's my favorite. There was an interview talking about how this broke all these records and everything else. And
Ugh.
this is a
Which
quote
I
from
can't
him.
believe.
And this is just how fucking full of shit he
I could believe it. The marketing was great.
This is what he said. I know that the phone's going to be ringing off the hook for me to play serial killers after Longlegs. And that's not really what I like to do. I don't like violence, and I don't play people who hurt people. Renfield, Pig,
Right.
Mandy, every fucking thing he does, he's hurting someone. What
Yeah.
is he talking about? Who does he
Yeah.
think he is now? Just because he fucking played this weirdo, now he's like transcended into some sort of. Now he's only going to do like good angel parts. Like
He was
fuck you,
in
Nicolas
fucking
Fuck you.
Face Off.
You hurt
I mean,
people. You hurt
yeah.
people, sir.
I mean, he
You're gonna
hurts his
continue hurting people.
ex, literally, right? Isn't their whole thing?
No, that was his kid.
Or his kid? Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, his
So
kid
come
beat
on,
up the
man.
Mom bad.
Yeah. So like, yeah, I did see that,
You're not
and
gonna hurt people. Fuck you.
dude, yeah, this I did like some stuff. Like I said, I like the general premise of it. If they could have figured out either gone one way or the other. Make it have
On
a
paper,
supernatural
it's-
thing.
I wish we
whole
had
time.
somebody on our show who liked this movie because I listened to like my favorite horror podcast and they all liked it. And I was just like,
Nobody
I fe-
like I really
felt-
know really liked it. I mean, Bob from Time Bomb Toys, he's like, it was really entertaining. Like it was
okay.
which-
So a lot of my friends who are not super horror people, I mean, they like
Right.
horror, but they're not like the three of us. They were like, oh, I was like fully entertained the whole time. And I was engaged. Like I had the
Yes,
baby
sir.
with me and like I was
Right.
checking on
Entertaining.
him and like I had to feed him and I got a pizza and a milkshake. Like I was doing my thing at the Alamo, having a good
Yeah.
time. Like the theater was full. It was a Tuesday at like 11 a.m. Like it was fine. But like, I don't know. Like I was like, what did I miss? And I went to the bathroom at one point. I went to the bathroom right after he smashes his face. Spoiler alert. Very cool scene, but he smashes his face.
Yeah, I enjoyed that because I was really hating on Nicolas Cage at this point. I
Oh,
was like,
see,
yeah, let's just fucking do it. Let's just.
I was,
Yeah.
like,
I was hating only for the fact I was just like, how did he get caught by the FBI? Like, what did he was just waiting for the bus. Like, I was like, why did he get captured? Like, I was like, it kind of just seemed rushed. It seemed like there were scenes that were cut out. But anyway, I went to the bathroom and came back. And then,
oh,
so
I'm sure it
then,
was originally 5 hours long.
probably.
oh, I'm sure it
With
was.
fucking Oz Perkins and Nicolas Cage, at least.
Yeah.
But then, so they're at the scene where she's coming out of the basement and she's like remembering her childhood. And I was like, oh, I definitely missed something. And I was like, I don't know what I missed, but I felt like it was the end of the second act. So I feel like it would slow into the third act, but it definitely didn't. And so I was trying to piece together, like, oh, okay. Like the basement of her house, he's in her basement. Okay. Got it.
Right.
And then,
which you kind of got a little early on.
right.
About halfway
right.
through, you're like, oh, okay, they're related somehow.
Right. And so, but what everyone will tell you is that because she's sort of psychic and Nicolas Cage, Longlegs is like a demon worshiper, he put her in a trance. And that's why she doesn't remember him living downstairs.
Well,
Not that they tell you
there's a
this.
doll of her in the little ball,
Do they explain that though?
but that could no, and that's why at the end she's like, "Woo," right? I thought there was
Right.
a doll of her in a ball.
There is a doll of her,
There-
which that's the scene that I missed. The mother shoots the doll, right? And the puff of black smoke comes out of the doll, but it also
Right.
comes out from behind her head.
Right.
So we're led to believe that once the doll, we know that the doll controls everybody,
Right.
right? It makes people think that the doll is their daughter and the daughter is not their
Yeah.
daughter.
It puts them in the trance and under the
Yeah,
control
I-
of Satan,
right.
or whatever.
but
Or Longlegs, whoever.
but it was so rushed, and then it was
They should
over.
have done some more research on Satan because I think that they just got that wrong. The whole Satan.
Yeah.
Thing, they need to
Well, I mean,
just
it-
fuck off with
well,
that. Like they're not. Fix
That part just didn't make any sense because
crazy deity. Fine.
when
Demon,
she was at
whatever.
her boss's house and his daughter was on whatever and she shot the doll and she was releasing,
Yeah.
whatever. You're like, okay, well then why didn't she get released from? Because she's still kind of like,
yeah,
whatever.
she was still, yeah.
Yeah, you're like, well, I thought that was like the thing. If you, destroy the ball and release
the
your
devil ball,
spirit,
yeah.
whatever, then they're free from the
Satanic
spell and
Balls,
whatever. But obviously not.
orbs. Like we'll call them orbs.
Right. But then why would like her mother do that to free her daughter to be like, oh shit, hey, everybody. And first of all, why don't you call anybody for backup? Like, oh my God, everyone's getting killed and it's my mom and we got the, whatever. Come help me. She's like, nah.
Right, because she wasn't in the trance anymore. We're led to believe at
Right.
that point. Yeah.
Right. So you'd be like, oh, she would
Even
obviously
the thing
think
with
clear.
the mom, like
Right.
he's like fucking hog tying her, and then she's like, "I'll do anything if you don't kill my daughter," and then somehow she's like the angel of death, or like this nun that fucking like.
Right. That was
Well,
that
so
was the trade-off.
So
Church lady.
yeah, well, and the
I
story
know,
was
but
that
they
there
didn't,
was
like
No.
the story was
that
that there was
was-
six people before her. Like there was other people had done the same thing. So like if she didn't do
that
it, somebody
she
else was
doing?
gonna. Yeah, that was part of the story. So
I
that
totally missed that. I thought
yeah,
there was
so-
other families that had been killed.
no,
and
so
she was
like
trying to,
Longlegs, Nicolas Cage's character had been doing this for like over and over, and it
That's how
had
he was
something to
never
do.
getting caught. Yeah.
It had something to do with like the seventh version of it. Like he says it in one of his speeches. He's like, your mother was the seventh it was the seventh time that I had to do this. It's moderately
blocked it out.
explained in his speech that this is that if it wasn't her, it was going to be somebody else. So her mother was like, "I'll do it because I don't want you to kill us," you know.
Right. I don't want
And
you
so
to kill my
that's why.
daughter. And
And this is like, and she was the seventh one, you know. So we're led to
But-
believe, perhaps. Well, now we're not, because Longlegs killed himself because he's released of it all because his shit was done. Then, like, he passed the devil on, I guess.
or did he
It
die?
was
Because they never, you never see the dead body. They were just like, he's gone.
right.
So you never see it, which is setting up. What's going on is it feels like they're going to end up making her his daughter or something.
Right. I think
And
there
do-
was a lot more Nicolas Cage in this movie, and they cut it out for the risk of it being too funny because there was
Right.
people laughing in my theater, and I get it in horror movies. People laugh because they're anxious and it's nervous laughter, but he was just like ridiculously
Yeah,
funny.
it was just ridiculous. You're
and
like,
which
you're
is which is
and-
fine when he's
yeah.
screaming in the car, "Mommy!" like all that shit. Like,
It's all Raising Arizona. It's him just being fucking goofy ass Nicolas Cage
you
in
know,
like
and
a serious movie, and it doesn't
Dude,
work. And people
this
lie
is
to
not
themselves.
explained. This is not explained in the movie, but there's a whole thing about the whole cuckoo thing. Like when he goes cuckoo, cuckoo, it has to do with like cuckoos were used as a way to letting the devil into your home. It's this whole lore that you really have to
There's
like.
so much lore and explanation that you didn't get in the movie, which might have made
all.
the movie make more sense.
Right, but you know who does that? They do that in like Hereditary. But in Hereditary, I can still enjoy the movie without needing all the lore.
Right.
Like,
No,
But I mean,
I thought Hereditary, the symbolism, I picked up on like most of it. Even when I read
Right, but
all
there's
the
some deep- there's some-
synopsis after, I was like, yeah.
but there's some deep,
that-
like witchy
that's it.
occult stuff that like I got like the surface level of, and that's all you need. You don't
Right,
need all
right.
the deep stuff. You could get
No.
it if you wanted to, but this was like, oh, like why the fuck is he saying cuckoo? Well, I did a little bit of googling. It would explain to me like, oh, like that's the way the devil would let people into their house and not all this nonsense. I was just like, ah,
right,
okay,
right. And
and so like doing that, yeah, maybe it makes me enjoy the movie, or it doesn't make me enjoy the movie more, but it makes me appreciate it a little bit more. Like I appreciate the effort put into it, but it was so much, like so like I have to do
none of it.
like
Yeah.
I don't want to have to do a book report after I saw the movie to find
No.
out what it was about.
No, and like I was saying, you know, you got okay, so he's this failed glam rocker who turned
How though? How would
Satanist.
you know that?
He's just
Exactly.
some creep. He's like some bus stop creep doll
Right.
maker that likes fucking
And
70s
fucking
glam
starts
rock
getting
and does some
plastic surgery. Yeah, and you're like, how would
Weird.
anyone get that from this movie?
No, yeah, you wouldn't. Oh, he's
wouldn't.
trying to make it. Yeah, yeah.
You wouldn't.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I wish there was more basement scenes, like more scenes of him like brooding and doing his doll shit, so that we would get more
Yeah.
of the exposition through him.
Like in Silence of the Lambs,
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
which people compare this to, except for in Silence of the Lambs,
It was
both
good.
bad guys, you get to know what they're about.
Right.
In very easy, small ways. You
right,
don't,
right. It's not
You
a
don't have to
it
do much.
doesn't it's not
you don't
hard.
do much, but
yeah. It was funny. I read something today or yesterday, just perusing the internet about the scene in this insane asylum with the girl.
Yeah.
You know, the girl who kills herself after she talks to
Mhm.
the agent,
Yeah.
Lee Harker. That girl, she said that whole scene, she improv the whole scene, and she didn't know what she was going to say until she started talking. And once I read that, I go, well, that makes sense because when she started talking, I had no fucking clue what she was talking about.
Right. Right. You're like, what?
I was like, oh, that's why she's in the crazy house because she's just talking fucking circles.
Yeah. It's I mean, I was happy to see Blair Underwood. I was like, damn, Blair Underwood looks good for being like 70 or 65 or however fucking old he is. I was like, all right, good, Blair Underwood, you look great. And then
Was that her partner?
her boss?
Her boss?
Yeah. I was like, damn, all the way back from LA Law, and then you're on fucking now you're looking pretty good. And then Sabrina, the teen,
Right.
I'm like, okay, just got some people in there, and I'm not a fan of the Monroe chick. I mean, she's all right in some movies, but this one was not one I liked her in. But yeah, I don't know. Like the characters for me were just fucking weird too. Like it seems like aside from Blair Underwood was like the most consistent, believable character,
I mean,
or at least
I
one
didn't
that
mind
made
any of-
sense. His
I
character
didn't
made
mind
sense.
any of the characters except for Longlegs. I thought they were all
Oh, yeah.
fine.
I mean, they just,
Nicolas
I don't know.
Cage's.
Within the story, I just don't think they just didn't explain them enough for them to, they just didn't fit enough in the story for me. So I was just like, okay, what's this chick? Oh, she's crazy. Like what? Okay. But there's the doll of her. I don't know. It was a lot.
Yeah,
It was a
that
lot.
part to me wasn't, yeah, compared to everything else. That part I liked. Okay. I mean, my biggest gripe too about Longlegs is that they just painted his face white, and when you read any interview, they said that they're trying to make him look like a washed-up glam rocker, or
Right.
like who got too much plastic surgery. So why the fuck wouldn't he have black smears around his eyes? He doesn't have to have full eyeliner, but like have some other makeup or like red smeared across his face. In no realm would someone just have a completely white, dusty face if they were into glam. I'm sorry. Not
No.
believable, people. Not
No.
believable. You never give up the glitter of the eyeliner. So
Mm-mm.
that's some bullshit.
Especially if
I'm
it's
gonna say that
back
right now.
then and he's a huge
Yeah.
T-Rex fan, he's gonna have some sweet blush on, some
Dude, after he
good
got all that
sparkly
surgery
eyeliner.
done, why would
Yeah.
highlight the big ass cheekbones, those big ass lips he's got going on?
Yeah.
Dude, it's just wild to me. I'm looking right
If
here.
you're that vain-
85% fresh on Rotten Tomato.
That's fucking crazy.
60, but a 61% user score, which makes more sense.
Right.
Yeah. And he
And
looked
But I didn't hear.
honestly,
But I think the three of
people
us
who
are the
don't
only
like
ones.
horror might like this.
I think
Because
you're right.
It's not scary, right? And if people
Yeah.
who like artsy movies, they might be fine with it because they haven't seen a bunch of cheesy 70s and 80s horror that we have that have done it on no budget
right.
and done these same
Yep.
sort of doll tricks and orbs and Satan in a fucking glass metal ball, whatever.
The thing I also liked Oz Perkins for this, that when Nicolas Cage was smashing his face off the thing, which is like, all right, it's effective.
That was the goriest part.
Right. It's effective. That whole I'm going to smash my face off a desk, but it is used in every fucking movie now. That's like the thing that'll get. It's like, all right, how are we going to get people? All right, smash
Dude,
your face.
Talk to Me got that.
Right.
Like got me bad
Right,
in that
right.
scene.
But when
That was brutal.
when he comes up for the last time, there was 100% a nod to Day of the Dead, the zombie that walks up and his tongue falls out of his mouth and he's like, bleh, and when the title thing comes up and Nicolas Cage's got this white hair and you can barely see like his mouth because it's just covered in dark, like almost brown blood. I was like, oh shit. I'm like, all right, I like that nod, but that still doesn't make this movie good. Oz Perkins, what in the fuck? And then again, and then that's like at that point, it just turns into a completely different movie and then just ends.
Right.
Like,
But it's quick. It's like 20 minutes. And it's out.
right. Right.
Mhm.
I was just like,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
mind
so.
the final act being short. I love that, but I just like
Well, they had to
continuity
because they
and
killed off the
sense.
main guy.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like that they named it Longlegs after what he said to the
Gonna
girl.
put my
that was the
long
only
legs
reason.
on.
Yeah, because he was tall and had to shrink down to see her. Like that's creepy.
They're so creepy. And that was the only part of like with the editing. Like that editing where they cut like that, that's like very similar to like all the marketing they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like
It even reminded me of now I'm gonna forget the fucking name of the film that's terrifying about the
Dark and the
like
Wicked.
Stephen.
Oh.
No, that's scary.
dude, that shit when he bends down, they cut.
Yeah.
I was like, I was ready to strap in. I was like, oh fuck, good thing I got the baby here to hold on to.
Baby's eyes are bulging out. You're like, oh shit.
Sinister.
Oh,
Okay.
They're
dude.
upstairs when they're
Dude,
watching the films and
Mm-hmm.
Sinister, like that part reminded me of that. It had that grainy look,
Yeah.
the
Right.
vintage colors. Like
Sinister
plenty
scared
of
the
times-
shit out of me.
it scared the shit out of me too. And I thought that I was just a big pussy because I think my friends and other people just told me I was a big pussy and it wasn't scary. But I've seen it on like
How
top
dare
50
they.
lists all the time now. And I'm like,
Oh, is it okay? It's
I
scary.
wasn't.
I watched it in a basement with some friends. And I was like, this is scary, right?
I watched it like alone
Oh no.
in my house. And I was
Oh no,
like,
that would
"Oh."
scare. I would have turned it off. I'm like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be like a screen, like a slasher kind of movie. But anything with like paranormal and killer stuff like that, I'm like I can't watch that by myself.
Definitely creepy.
Right.
So now I look it up before I do it. But no, it reminded me of that. And I think cinematography wise, they did a great job making it look in the time period. Like
There's so
colors
much
were good.
good things about the movie that if
the
you want
wardrobe
to like,
person did
right.
like a nice job.
If you want to dissect and be like, this part,
We're not
there's
super negative, guys.
no, there's good things about it. It's just none of it fit well. And then you have fucking Tiny Tim tiptoeing through the tulips. This whole fucking as soon as he got like a good a good minute of screen time in where he's talking, I'm like, Tiny Tim for the rest of the movie, just because he was like, whoa, I'm just like, oh, Howard Stern, every fucking Tiny Tim, Johnny Carson, episode I saw him on. I'm just like, I can't get it out of my head. And every time he came on, he's just being ridiculous. And I'm laughing, not because it was necessarily funny, but I'm thinking, I can't believe that this is what they're doing in this movie. Like,
No,
what
I think
the fuck am I
my husband
watching?
and sister had more fun watching me from about halfway through to the end than the movie, because they said at points I had my like head in my hands and I was just like shaking my head and like had Italian hands going on over and over. Like, what the fuck are they doing here? Like,
And that's the fucking thing, man. They would bring him on, or they'd get going with the story and all the straight characters. And you're like, okay, get in. And then bring him in for a handful of seconds and just blow all that progress up and then dive right back into like a normal movie. And then
he's
bring him back.
We're big Cage fans here, but he is a little much.
It's too much for this movie. And I get it. Like nowadays, we started the whole Nicolas Cage phenomenon. We put it out there in the universe.
He stole Dom's laptop.
Right, stole Dom's laptop on an episode we had all recorded. And it's cool, and it's the same thing going on with Corey Feldman. Like, it's ironic to like him, and it's ridiculous. He's ridiculous, which I'm almost positive he's pulling an Andy Kaufman, and he knows all of this is just.
He's on tour with Limp Bizkit right now.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah. And he's been like dancing like Michael Jackson during all their songs.
Oh yeah,
like on stage with
dude.
them.
It's
yeah.
Limp Bizkit, fucking
doing.
Yeah, fucking Jody High Roller. What's his name?
It's called like the Losers Tour or something.
Yeah,
it's all like all these weird bands.
Yeah, and it's just him. I want sidetrack. Someone pointed out on one of the reels, they were about him that he's performing and he's always like fucking a song up, but he does it every show and it's always like a different song, but it's always like the same setup. And you're like, oh, dude, this is an act. Like,
yeah, dude. When you watch him play, I
will say when I saw him live, he didn't make a mistake.
Really?
Oddly, they were super. It was before when his ex-girlfriend was in the band. And
it's a different girl playing, right?
Pre-recorded. Yeah, they broke up and now it's someone else. But I went in ready to just like laugh and heckle the shit out of them because that's not my kind of music, and I just wanted to see it because it's fucking Corey Feldman playing.
It's not anyone's kind of music.
But no, I'm telling you, it was good, and they were tight.
I know. You told me.
To drink the Kool-Aid. I was like, this is actually they play well, but what was weird.
It's entertaining.
No, the songs they played though were ones I never see on anyone's videos. They played like some Parliament level funk songs,
right?
And like two of the guys in Parliament were there and got up on stage with them because they live in town. And like it was awesome. He had different musicians from famous bands coming up on almost every song, and then he had like two of the kids from the Goonies come up and sing with them. He had somebody from Lost Boys come up and sing with them, just because Woodstock has a lot of people around, I guess, or New York. But no, like the funk songs, they were fucking like they were oddly good.
I watched the video last night. It looked like he never played guitar in his life.
Was it the one where he was soloing?
He didn't play guitar.
He's like, it looks like he's fighting the guitar.
I believe it. Yeah, but he is like definitely over the top Michael Jackson moves. But what I saw like was very, very, very rehearsed and very tight. Oddly so.
Yeah.
Do we get a director's cut of Longlegs?
I hope not.
I just want more Cage.
I don't.
Yeah,
I usually would, but I don't.
I want a specific Longlegs Cage. I want the basement dwelling Longlegs.
No, I want like a prequel to Black Phone, and I'm gonna learn about Daddy Hawk's character. Longlegs has pissed me off so bad. I don't want to know about him. I don't. I'm fine.
That's
he fucking
definitely
killed
fair.
himself, and good. I'm glad he did.
Will we hate the Crow more than we hate Longlegs?
No, because I'm going in knowing I'm probably gonna hate the Crow. I really thought that I was gonna at least.
Well, that's the other thing about this movie is there's potential there.
What a letdown.
for an actually good movie, for an actual good movie. Like there's some potential there that they just decided to throw away and have Nicolas Cage be like not even color out of space Nicolas Cage performance where he's still in a different movie, but
I love that movie.
it's still a good movie. Like he doesn't take you out of the movie that much. This one, it's like fucking, it's like Hiroshima, like just boom every time he comes
Listen,
on.
Know what
I
he's
have
like.
so much. I'm so traumatized from Longlegs. Not only did I therapy watch Twisters, I learned the fucking line dance. I love that fucking movie. There was not even kissing with tongue. I don't think there was one cuss word, and it's great. It's great. I
That's
fucking love
awesome.
that movie. Okay, that's how that Longlegs did that to me. Longlegs did that to me,
We-
and yeah, I do know the line dance. No problem.
I don't know.
And
I heard
followed
no
it up
Helen
with
Hunt.
some other blockbusters.
I heard no Helen Hunt, no cows. So no Twister for me.
Son of a
I've
bitch.
literally gone to the movies every Friday since then and just seen like whatever blockbusters
Just
coming out that is
palate
not a
cleanser.
horror movie because I'm like I gotta just reset, hard reset. Gotta just fill
Yeah.
my brain with some
Dude,
blockbuster
Popcorn.
shit.
Popcorn films.
So
there
much
is
popcorn.
a lot of movies that are just kind of phoning shit in. I
Oh,
feel
dude.
like they're just banking on some marketing or whatever. And a lot of it I blame on I always call it the toxic positivity group of horror fans that no matter what, oh my God, this movie was amazing. This was great. And you're like, well, no, it wasn't. Like I get you can
It's the
like
A24 people. I love
Right.
A24 movies, but it's like the cultists, the A24
Right.
cultists.
You can like a shitty movie. Like we all have the movies we like that aren't good movies and we know it, but we're like, dude, I love that movie. Like for whatever
Sure.
reason, it strikes a chord with me. But most of the time we're practical and objective about it and be like, yeah, it's not necessarily a good movie or a movie for most people, but I love it. Whereas a lot of fans are just like, this is a masterpiece. And you're like,
That's
no,
where I
it's
just wanna
not.
stab him in the fucking eye with a pencil.
Ex-
Fucking idiot.
yes. Stab them all in the eyes. And then you got these production companies and these movie companies and directors that know that are like, all right, if we can get some good marketing and maybe one like really shocking scene, it's going to be the most terrifying movie of 2024. Like we've heard that with every new horror movie that comes out, this is the most shocking horror movie of 2000, whatever year it is.
Sure.
You know,
If we
Well,
don't
you know
if we don't
what?
get that
Like-
tagline, we get people who are leaving the theater or throwing up.
yeah,
The cry.
like no,
Well,
no, it's not.
and
Passing out.
Plenty did that, and they didn't scare me. I mean, people did that with like Hereditary. People
Mhm.
did that with Midsummer. People did that with Talk to Me, which Talk to Me was really creepy, and Hereditary had some moments. But like, I wasn't mad at those films. Plenty of
Right.
people were pissed at those films. Were they as great as people said? Some of them, yes. Some of them, no.
Oh
Mostly
yeah,
no.
yeah.
Yeah,
But like this piece of shit.
yeah.
I mean, honestly, it's one of those ones where I wish I would have heard nothing and saw it because I probably would have been like, whoa, what the fuck? And not have been mad. I would have just been like, huh, interesting choices, but like
Right.
not watching that again. But because of all this fucking hype and their great marketing, I feel fucking bamboozled.
Do you think because
Bamboozled.
we're in the horror community, we got marketed too harder than like the average folk?
Oh, sure. Sure.
Right? We had to. So
Of course. Our algorithm on our phones and everything. Yeah. Yeah.
right.
But
So
regardless, but I mean, but still, it's fucking. I mean, like
It's-
the
it shouldn't
one
speak for the
poster with,
movie,
like,
though. That's the thing.
family that's dead, and it's just like sheets over them, and I was like, oh, like just those visuals. I was like, this is so.
oh
fucking
well,
creepy.
well, we didn't
And the
really
little,
dive
like,
into.
poems about it, and then like you watch the movie, and you're like, that nothing hits as hard as those posters.
Oh yeah, we
Right.
didn't dive into many of the old deaths or anything really.
I mean, there was some cool ones. The axe getting axed was cool.
Yeah,
The
but-
shotgun
No,
in the
wasn't.
car was. I mean, as far as like, okay, yeah, that's cool, but I mean, it's nothing. It was nothing shocking or out of the ordinary.
Oh, no. Trap comes out this weekend.
Mm.
You know what?
Don't let them fool you.
I'm thinking about it with all the movies that are still coming out this year. I think Longlegs might barely crack my top 10 list for this year.
Ah,
Maybe I'll just see Harold and the Purple Crown. That comes out on Friday, and that looks nice and wholesome.
there you go.
I'm going to Deadpool tomorrow with the baby.
Yeah, I
It
think
was
I
great.
might go see it tomorrow too. Tomorrow night.
Unless
Yeah.
we're gonna do an episode about it, and then I have no opinion right now.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah, the other part too is people are all in this Nicolas Cage hysteria. So they're like, dude, his character was the fucking best. It was so awesome. It was so creepy. And I'm like, it wasn't creepy at all. It was so over the top silly that you're either just saying that just to say it, or you're just lying, or you're an NPC and you're
I think
just
they did cut some of his shit out because they said test audiences said that they couldn't have that much of him because he was so terrifying. And I'm like, do you guys ride the
Terrifying?
bus every day? 'Cause that's the only reason I think he was scary. Like
Terrifying.
even when
yeah.
I did.
Every time he was on screen, I was thinking in my head, like in my head, there was like a voice go,
He's
this
an
choice,
eccentric.
this choice was made.
Yeah.
This choice was made.
Yeah.
Like
And
choices
they
were
keep
made.
calling him. They keep calling him a serial killer. He's not actually a serial killer. He's a puppet for the devil, apparently.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like, why is he a serial killer? He didn't fucking kill anybody. He did not kill anyone. He made dolls and put the devil in a ball and then gave it to a lady dressed like a fucking nun. That's
Yeah.
what he
Right.
did.
Well, she's the killer. I mean, kind of like
Or the family or whoever,
right,
like,
but
the
yeah,
dad.
the FBI can't arrest the people
It's
the murder
devil
suicides.
is the killer.
Right.
Right, which
Oh,
is
no,
a great
actually, it is. It's the dad.
Yeah.
You're right.
the dad, but it's the devil and the dad.
Right. Right. Because that was the whole
No,
thing.
the
It's
devil's
like,
in the ball.
yeah.
Right, it's the ball controlling the dad.
And then he kills. How are all these people
So
getting
the
killed
orbs are
from
the
inside and
the
no
orbs
one's
are the serial killers.
yeah.
So they should have made the poster an orb.
But no, but the orbs aren't the serial killers because there's all different orbs. So just every orb is a killer. There is no serial killer in this movie.
But it's all the same entity.
I'll die on that hill.
So, yeah. It's just it's
Yeah.
and they're throwing in like, okay, so I mean, we won't go down the Charles Manson rabbit hole. And the
Yeah, it's a
whole
little bit there.
MK Ultra thing as to
Yeah.
what they tried to make it like he was the mastermind getting other people to kill
Right.
things.
They were going through that. That was the story. Yeah.
Right. So, which is an interesting thing. That's an interesting storyline. It's like, yeah, well, how are all these murders getting committed inside, but like everybody's dying and it's obviously someone else, but there's no entry. You can't find any trace of someone else coming
that
and
so
doing
much
it.
cooler though.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Like that's when the detective should have really gone in and made it like foreboding and insane. Like,
Yeah.
no way that someone could have gotten in. Like, what is it? Dun 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 dun. Cool
Dude,
sounds.
when they
music
showed
and
him-
things, but there was none of that.
Right.
When
The
they showed him go
atmospheric
into
sound.
her house, when he went into her house and then just left her the note and the note was explaining how to read the fucking cipher, I was just like, dude, we could have made this scene so much scarier. And I
Not
know
only
everyone's
that,
gonna be like,
she
oh,
stayed there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, but what fucking person, I don't care if you're an autistic detective or not, there is not one motherfucker in the world that isn't going to make sure they're like shit's like locked down tight and
Well,
like call the police.
Yeah.
She sits
God.
there and just slowly opens it, puts the gloves and like opens it up. Remember, because she's not supposed to, isn't it like
Right.
you're not supposed to open or yeah.
right, yeah.
Whatever.
It was
Yeah.
she wasn't supposed to open it till her birthday or whatever. Yeah.
And then she fucking opens it with all these goddamn windows,
Oh, yeah.
knowing that
Doors
motherfucker's
open.
watching her.
Yeah.
Back to a fucking window
Uh-huh.
where someone could just shoot you in the back. of the
Right.
head.
And everybody's trying to
Apparently
say,
FBI.
yeah, and
Okay.
everyone's trying to say, oh, the way the camera shots linger on the back behind her and all this stuff. I was like, yeah, the first time that was scary, but it did that in every scene and nothing was
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
And
Except for the
trained-
spooky demon ghost shadows.
Yeah, and trained law enforcement, let alone
Right.
FBI.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Fucking done that. She would have been in like a fucking safe house or in an office somewhere,
Yeah.
like
I
locked
mean,
down looking at
af-
that. She's not sitting in her fucking kitchen.
Right after her
Pew.
partner gets murdered,
Yeah.
she sees someone at her place, doesn't call
Nope,
the
why would she?
FBI, her team, her boss, like, hey, there's somebody here. What she does, she opens the door, leaves it open, walks outside, walks around her house, finally goes back in. Oh, there's a note. And it just kind of sits back down and just goes about her night and then stays there, never calls anyone. But I guess they're gonna
I think
say
she knew though. Like, I mean, she
Right.
knows about the
Well,
man
this-
downstairs. Her mom's a fucking wackadoo. The second you see her with your mom, you know something's up with that. 'Cause
Right.
It's just like,
But she's
Well, I
a little
get-
touched. She's a
Yeah.
little touched.
Yeah,
So,
but I guess they could also say, "Oh, well, she was under the control, so
Right.
wasn't
They're-
letting
yeah.
her do this." Blah blah blah.
but are we told that she was under control? Like, we told, like, since she was a little girl, like I say, because she had her own doll, so she was under control the whole time.
I mean, if she was, how could she become a fucking FBI agent and then get on the trail to eventually?
Well, yeah, because
'cause
they
Satan could
Yeah.
make her.
well, they
Right.
definitely
make
didn't
her
because
super awesome.
they definitely didn't because the Longlegs said him and her mom were laughing about it when she became a law enforcement.
Right.
He says that like me, we had a good laugh when you became a cop or some
Yeah,
shit
it's
like
just
that.
like, all right, I guess it's a big cat and mouse game thing going on here, which whatever.
Which is funny that he said his mom and her had a big laugh about it
Mhm.
because it makes it sound like her mom was a totally willing participant at that point and no longer just doing it to
Right. Right.
Well, by
Yeah.
the time she's adult, yeah. I'm sure
Yeah.
they became friends. Her mom doesn't have a daddy or like a, hubby.
Oh, she
Right.
does.
Yeah,
And
this
its
dude
name
living in
is
the basement. I mean,
Longlegs.
yeah, I was gonna say her mom and Longlegs were
I should have brought my third leg.
Want to see my third leg? At least it had some T-Rex songs in it, so that was good, and some posters and
I
shit.
have
Which,
one T-Rex song.
yeah, at the end, that's enough though. It's a good song and a poster. Well, I will say though, Nicolas Cage does have some good music in a lot of his like thriller type movies. Like 8mm was good, had a bunch of dancing in it. This one had
Is he-
T-Rex.
Is
so-
he giving producer credits on this?
I don't know. I didn't look, but I'm sure he probably had some input. Like, we need to.
Oh, yeah, no, he
has
definitely
been
doesn't.
lately.
Oz Perkins. He gets all the roles. Oh wait, let's see who produced it. It's not there. Oh well,
Oz Perkins.
probably.
All right, let's rate this fucking piece of shit. Who wants to go first? Who wants to go first? Rating long legs.
I'll go first.
All right.
I give it 2 candy corns.
Oh, okay. All right.
It ain't complete dog shit.
It's close.
There's some really good acting in it, but there's
Yeah.
also some fucking blasphemy in there. Like
Some choices for me. Choices for
Yeah.
me.
All right.
I'm
giving it a 1.75, 1 3/4.
all right.
Sexy, T-Rexy, glam rockery candy corns, because I mean it's a shitty movie and there was a lot of potential in it, and that's what almost pissed me off the most. I mean, Nicolas Cage's character pissed me off the most because it was just so ridiculous and over the top.
Oh, he's the lead producer. I just
Yeah, he was like, we need to put
Yeah.
T-Rex in there. That'll be great. I love because he's probably on like a T-Rex kick right now. So he's like, we need to put that in. All right. But yeah, like if he was on like 35, if he could have just turned it down to maybe like 14, it could have been better.
that's quite the drop.
Yeah. But he didn't, and that's what we got. And I was just like, and it was just too much. It was a lot. The stories I thought didn't go together as well as they should have. And then him, and then, just everything as a whole. It was a clusterfuck. This movie was a clusterfuck to me, is what it felt like. What about you, Liette?
So yeah, going right from that, Screaming E, I agree, and I concur. My thing is, there were parts of it I really liked. I thought
Right.
some of the acting was really good. Like I said, some of the sets, some of the costumes, but all of that, no. I'm sorry. For this making as much money as it did, this having the marketing that it did,
Insane.
everything else, there is no
Insane.
fucking excuse for that being the cut of the movie that made it to the public.
I
at all.
agree.
Like, there's no fucking excuse. If this would have been marketed as just like another B movie horror, totally fine with it. Fine. I would have
Mhm.
watched it, maybe even liked it a little bit. It would definitely have a higher score. But this wasn't. And maybe that's not their fault that their marketing was so good it fucking blew up and got people interested. But you got to follow through. And I would have been good if it was so bad it was funny, like more funny than it was.
Right.
Right.
And yeah, not that our scores are going to teach anyone a lesson, but I think that so many people continue doing shitty things because nobody's just smacked them in the fucking face and been like, what are you doing? So I cannot score the good parts of this movie because it would just be supporting bad behavior, which I don't want to do.
Can't condone bad behavior.
I can't. Like, eventually someone has to just say no. Like
Well, there has to be
fucked this
accountability.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I've got to, put the good to the back of my mind because as a whole, this movie was not good. It didn't make sense. And it wasn't funny. And I, again, would have been okay with all of that if it would have been like visually gory or over the top or something, but it just like, man, I don't know. I still don't know what the fuck I watched.
It's different choices. If the different choices were made, there's
What?
an hour 41 movie, which that's short, and I like that. However,
I do too.
there's a different cut of this movie that's better.
Well,
Yeah, no, I think that there is a much better movie in the material they had to work with.
100%, 100%.
Probably the scenes they shot. And so again, why I'm not gonna rate it higher on the couple good things I liked, because I feel like however this fucking final cut got to the mainstream, it's just like it's not okay. It's not okay. I felt like I really and
I want the Snyder cut.
I walked into the movie seeing
slow
that
motion.
the ratings were going down once regular people were reviewing it, and it wasn't just critics. But
Mhm.
still, at the time, it still had like a 98 critic score, and I was like, there is no fucking way this movie will be that bad with that high of a score, with all these like huge people reviewing it who watch everything. And whether I agree with them or not, generally, like if they say a movie's well done, it's well done, and it just might not be my taste.
Right.
Um,
And you're objective enough to be able to, separate the two and be like, oh, it was a good
Dude,
movie, just not my thing.
highest grossing indie horror film
It's
in
fucking
the last 10 years.
dude, it's nuts.
They
Nuts.
made their whole budget, more than their whole budget, on the first opening day. That wasn't even a weekend day. It was a Thursday.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it
That's
made
fucking
66 million. 69 million.
Anyways, I'm giving it 1.5. And I
Oof.
feel like that's being generous. Listen, like they're like the bad cannot outweigh the good in this.
Nope,
There
I
were
agree.
So many fucking missteps. There were so many missteps.
I think that's why it hurts more, right? It hurts more.
Yeah.
It hurts because we were sold this great marketing and sold this great movie. And then we got this movie and it was like I felt like I was like being like, not even like jerked off and not coming. Like I felt like I was like, somebody was just looking at my penis and being like, I could touch it. like and thinking about it. Like it's like I don't know. It's more frustrating because there is something there.
Oh yeah, it's
You
like
just
horror
scared
blue
the
balls.
shit out of me. So can I say this? We're on Zoom and I have all of us up, but the person talking is in the corner. The corner happens to be right behind my shoulder. So most of this, Mike has had his hand up. So when the little box comes up, I can see like skin next to me on my shoulder. But he put his arm down while he was doing that, and he's in the dark room, so it was just his face barely there. And I almost jumped out of my fucking skin because where it comes up, there's a big dark brown door behind me, and it just looked like a face on the fucking door behind my shoulder, and you just scared the shit.
I've been scaring myself this whole episode. There's cars driving by, and
I saw
like,
that.
the lights are like dropping by, and the baby's like making noise, and the dog's making noise. I'm just
So it's like right here where this big like castle like rolly door I have is,
Uh-huh.
and that's where you're showing up, and it's just like it's just like a fucking face behind my shoulder, like creeping up. But yeah, you keep going back and forward too. And while you're talking, you went from back to forward, and I'm like, oh god, Nicolas Cage is in my house.
The other thing,
heard me.
dude, the other thing about this movie, if
Not
this
that you
was
look like him.
like a
Got it.
horror comedy,
That would have been funny.
this would have been a
No,
great movie.
I wish it was like Silence of the Lambs, even, or Seven, or
Right.
Zodiac, or a comedy. I wish it was.
it's
like
all
any of
those
them.
things.
But it was a fucking
Yeah, it's
yeah.
all-
That's the problem.
that's
Thrown
the
into
problem.
a fucking pillowcase and like
Beat
thrown out of
against
a car window.
a
Yeah,
fucking
exactly.
tree. Yeah, I agree. Well, I mean, that comes out to 1 3/4 candy corns, which
Jesus.
I know.
That's
low.
low.
Oz Perkins, yeah, Black Coat's daughter's good.
Yeah.
The best thing is like all these interviews with him recently. I forget, he accidentally saw a recent horror movie. Did you guys read that interview?
No.
No,
What was the last one we did?
The
we haven't
last
done Maxine, right?
we haven't. We did. Me and Gucci T did In a Violent Nature. And then me and you, Oops, did. Uh, what did we do?
Oh no, it was about Maxine. Oh no,
Oh.
wait. He said that so yeah, he said he would never ever watch contemporary horror.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's
And then
right.
he said, including Maxine and Pearl, and he accidentally saw X and regretted every second of it. This motherfucker. And I don't even think those movies are that great. I haven't seen the last one, but they are better than most horror outs. This fucking guy needs to
I mean,
shut the fuck
X
up.
was a pretty
Somebody just needs to
decent
beat
movie. Yeah.
Somebody just needs to beat this dude's ass because now his head is like in the clouds.
Yeah.
And whatever he makes next is going to really fucking suck because he's just going to do whatever he wants. And somebody's
Right.
going to let him do it because of this movie and be like, oh, but Longlegs made so much money. Just let him do what he wants. Rah, rah, rah. Money, money, money.
Well,
Bank,
it's-
bank roll.
This much like
It's gonna be a piece of shit.
and there we go. I love that filter or just
And Mike Terry
background.
has a Tiny Tim filter going on.
but yeah, this is like what we talked about on a Violent Nature. It's just like
Why you don't reward bad behavior.
right.
Then they fucking blow up.
Right. There
They
but
do
there's
worse
like
shit.
it makes it worse when there's some good in it. Like there's potential in it and they just shit all over that potential and do whatever the fuck they want anyway. And you're like, why did you do that? There was so much more that could have been done with that movie. And it hurts. It hurts more to watch it because the whole time you're thinking like, oh, this could have been
Did
better.
you watch,
That could have been better.
Did you watch Gretel and Hansel?
Yeah, and I that was like a right before the pandemic, and I watched it because there was nothing out, like there was nothing to watch, and
And what did you think of it?
I didn't think it was as great as everybody said it was. I thought it was all right. Like it looked cool. Like there was cool things that happened, but it was a slog and not like a bad way.
I was so disappointed in it.
Yeah,
I can't remember if I watched that or not.
I thought it looked bad in the trailers, but I was like, oh, I'll watch it. But yeah, it was. I don't know. People like anybody I talked to Longlegs about, they're like, oh, well, did you see the Black Coat's daughter? I'm like, yeah, it was good. Like, oh, did you see
No, it was
Hansel and
fun.
Gretel? I was like, yeah, I saw Hansel and Gretel. I didn't think it was that great.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, that's the thing. Nothing is that great lately. And people are saying things are great and they're not. And I don't know why. It's like this weird, dude, it's fucking MK Ultra in the horror community. They're just like,
Well, no, we can universally say something. It's hard to universally say things are great, right? But I think the last
Right.
the universally great movie in the last year is Godzilla -1. Duh.
right.
Yeah, like no one said that was
And
bad.
The Dark and the Wicked are the only two that come to mind that I'm like, fuck yeah.
But I'm
Yeah.
saying like nobody is saying bad things about those movies. So like, and even like, I guess you could say opinion wise, you could probably say, oh, something's too long or too slow, or a great movie that's similar to Longlegs in the genre would be something like The Witch, which I knew people who hated that movie and their reasons for not liking that movie. I totally get, but to everybody who loved that movie, it's totally a scary, awesome movie. Also, like I get it. Like it's
Yeah, but
I thought it was fine.
Yeah,
I
it
wasn't
was-
up its ass like everyone else.
and it made sense. It wasn't
That little fucking black goat is awesome.
Yeah.
right. It made
Black
sense.
ass
It made
Phillip.
sense though.
right.
It was just slow to me, and to me, it didn't build up as much like
Right.
tension and scarediness as most people.
Sure. But what I'm
But-
saying is it was like the things,
It's a good movie.
right. That's what I'm getting at. It's like there's
Didn't
things
piss
that
me
we,
off.
right.
Like
And
that-
the Longlegs is not that. And so
No.
it's weird. It's weird that this movie is getting so much like this weird love for it.
Yeah, it's super weird. But it
Dude,
also seems
wait
like
a
it's
minute.
what
What if all the critics got Satan ball dolls?
there you
Ah.
go.
I think the Satan ball dolls were filled with money so that they say nice
No.
things.
Oz Perkins and
money
Nicolas
is the
Cage
devil,
are
right?
Just the kind of weird ass freaks that would do something like that.
Dude, he gave them dolls full of money, and that's how, because if you give a good review, then you get invited back. That you get
Maybe
access.
threatened to kill their children.
Yeah. That's got to
Maybe
be
Nicolas
something.
Cage showed up at each of their houses as Longlegs and scared the shit out of them, and they were just like 100% great review, like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's
That's it. I think we figured it out. It's definitely something like
the
that.
balls,
100%.
It's the balls, Cotton.
It's
balls,
the Satan balls.
Satan
And
balls.
Nicolas Cage showed up at their house and threatened them
Makes sense to
and
me.
brought his raven or
Yeah,
his monitor.
or his 19-year-old wife, or
Oh.
whatever, however old she is.
Or maybe he sent his son to their
Yeah.
houses.
Not to really
he
get
likes-
This is already a better movie than Longlegs.
not to
It
get
is.
ego in, but when is Trapped coming out?
Friday.
Oh,
That's why I
so
was just looking. This Friday is the only Friday I don't have movie tickets for because I'm seeing Borderlands the next one and Alien the one after. And I was
aliens,
they hadn't-
aliens.
They excited for
They
that.
hadn't released times for my local theater. I didn't know why. And yeah, it's
Dude.
like the Purple Crayon movie and Trapped. And the first reviews came out and they look good, but I'm just like, I don't know if I want to go see that.
I
in
think
theater
Trapped
with
is
my
going to be a
husband.
surprisingly fun movie.
I
Maybe.
like Josh Hartnett.
Maybe we'll
I'm
see.
an M Night apologist.
Hey, I am too. M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong doesn't piss me off that much. He makes me laugh. His bad movies make me laugh, except for Lady in the Water.
Oh, I owe
shit.
people a lot of time for that movie. It was like
Same.
Thanksgiving, and I brought a lot of people to go see that movie because we used to go see movies on Thanksgiving every year or the day before. On Thanksgiving after eating, and yeah, I was really hyped. I was like Paul Giamatti. He was like at the peak of his career, and I was like, and it was like the trailers were like creepy and like mystical. I'm like, it's supposed to be like this like mystical horror movie kind of thing.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Nope.
like a fairy tale horror.
Yeah,
No,
fairy tale
see,
horror.
That case in point. People pumped him up too much. Said his movies were way better than they were. They were good. His movies are good. He does his own thing. You can tell it's a Shyamalan. You can tell it's his movie when you see it. It's like he has
Right.
his own equation.
Yeah.
And then enough people were like, yeah, do whatever you want. And then he fucking did that. And everyone's like, what
Mm-hmm.
did you just do?
M. Night Shyamalan still holds the scariest scene I've ever seen in a movie theater. The alien walking by scene in Signs. That fucking ruined me. Ruined me.
Not even the one from any of the number of the ones from The Sixth Sense with
Sixth
No.
Sense got me.
yeah.
Yeah, Sixth
Signs?
Sense got me.
Sign when
didn't
when
get
the
me.
when the alien walked
I was
by in
young when I
Signs,
saw Sixth Sense, yeah.
I fucking
like right when it
freaked
came
out.
out.
When the movie was over. I had to like run to my car because I don't want to run past any bushes.
So I will say when I was watching Signs, part scared me. But then once I was like, wait, why would aliens come to a planet that's almost all water and then not be able to have water on them? I got unscared. And
Well,
walked out.
that's the end though.
Maybe
That's the
being like,
that's the
bullshit.
twist.
But that's not a twist. That's like
That's his
speaking of
twist.
Aliens.
Uh,
I know, but yeah, Signs came out I think when I was like 14 or 15, and I saw it in the theater. So yeah, it scared me for sure.
Yeah.
yeah.
So did
Yeah.
Stir of Echoes,
Yeah, that's a good
Mm.
one.
which has a great soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
But those two are
Kevin-
very similar.
Right.
The visit was fun.
Those are like brothers. So that was the first after fucking Lady in the Water. I think The Visit was the first one, and I waited a while to see it. And then when I saw it, I was like, okay, I like this. All right.
Yeah.
And the beach
Well,
one wasn't bad. Old.
Oh, old. Yeah.
wasn't
If it
great,
would have been
but
it would have been a good like 1 hour like special or like a Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it didn't have what's his nuts in it.
I saw it on a plane flight, so it
Yeah.
was fine because it was
Oh,
like
that's
a 2.5
perfect.
hour long plane flight. So I was
Yeah.
like, well, I didn't waste time because I'm
Yeah.
Yeah,
here.
yeah. That's a good plane movie.
So,
Yeah, that's why he gets his shots. Like people go see his movies,
Yeah.
and they're all
But-
watchable. So
And
it's
they're all better
not
than
Lady in the
Longlegs.
Water though.
Yeah.
or the
no,
happening.
Not much. I fucking love The Happening.
Yeah.
I
Both
love
of
The
those
Happening.
are better than fucking Longlegs.
Wow,
And-
you think the happening is better than Longlegs?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you think Lady in the Water is better than Longlegs?
Yes.
No.
I don't know. Go back.
I do.
The acting might be. The acting
Yeah.
might-
See, listen, The Happening is realistic enough for me that I like
Sure.
it because I do think that all this crazy shit people think like the environment reacts to what we do. So to me, that is way scarier than most horror movies because that shit could happen.
Definitely.
True. Oh yeah.
And Mark Wahlberg makes me laugh, and Zooey Deschanel does too. So whatever.
Yeah, they definitely had better
It
people
was
in
funny. To me, that was a fun little movie, and it had some good gore in the beginning.
it. Yeah, I mean, I'm not.
I think
won't
Trapped is
disagree
going to
with
be a
you.
nice surprise.
I don't. Nothing surprises me anymore.
You sure?
Watch.
I'm writing that quote down right now.
I'm gonna have no opinion on anything until after I see it, and I'm not getting my hopes up.
Yeah,
on
nothing
anything.
surprised me anymore except for Speak No Evil.
Yeah.
The
Like,
new-
Oh man.
Like Borderlands has the
dude.
best cast ever, but I'm like, we'll see.
Okay, before we end this,
Borderlands looks terrible.
it
Did
does
you see
not
the
look.
cast? Kate
Yeah.
Blanchett, like,
It looks fun, but it looks terrible.
It is not my movie.
I think that you're gonna be surprised.
I think so. I agree. I will be surprised, but yeah.
The trailer for Speak No Evil looks
It looks better.
1,000 times better
much better.
than the original movie.
I agree.
Just the trailer,
I
just the
agree.
Right.
trailer was 10 times better than the movie. I
Right.
saw it, yeah, when we saw Longlegs, and I was like,
Yep.
oh wait, this actually.
I was
this looks- oh,
surprised.
this looks good, and I'm like,
All my friends
that's
who
way
haven't
better
seen it,
actors.
yeah, all my friends who haven't seen it, I was like, let me tell you, James McAvoy is on like level 1,000 energy in this trailer, and in the movie, that the original movie never gets to that level of
No.
No, it's
energy.
just passive aggressive. It's literally
Yeah.
just passive aggressive awkwardness.
Right.
It just gives
right.
away a
Right.
lot. The trailer gives away the whole movie, though.
I know the trailer when it showed the tongue, I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But
And
it's because we know. But
Even though you know, no, he opens his mouth and it's gone.
Mhm.
oh, right.
Yep.
Which even when you watch the other one, you're fucking like, this kid isn't talking.
I mean,
like,
that-
something's
I mean,
up. But
they
the
could
trailer
make
for the US one literally opens it and it shows it's been cut out.
They can make a trailer that's way more subtle for that movie and still sell that movie pretty easily, especially because the actors they have.
And get a bigger mainstream like
Yep.
customer base.
I mean, trailers just need to not show much. I mean,
They
Longlegs had a good
make that
trailer.
movie. They make it look like an action movie though, which is crazy.
Yeah, that happens a lot now. They're
Yeah,
like,
because the original, it's like they're in a restaurant pub kind of.
They're
They're
in a-
just chilling on the
they're in
farm.
a house and then a
it's
fucking
like
restaurant
aggressive, yeah.
for the whole movie, and then
And they don't want to bring the kids, and they're like, "Why can't we bring our kids to the
Yeah.
restaurant?" And they're like, "Oh, because you need to stay here."
It's
And then all of
annoying.
a sudden, like you're in a push down a little crevasse and like
throw-
stone.
yeah, and they just
Dude.
sit there and take it.
That movie. I'm sorry, but
Cuckoo, man.
Yeah.
Cuckoo's coming out.
Now that we've told you guys all about, well, we already did see No Evil, didn't we?
Yeah, we
it's
never
true.
released
we
it
did.
though.
We did.
We talked
Oh,
about
we
it.
Didn't release it.
Yeah, that's the
Oh.
one. I was like, this is the story from start to finish, and I was like, that's a terrible fucking episode. And we just shit on it the entire time.
Okay, so you guys just got a mini episode at the end of this one, and
Right.
you just heard all the main things we talked about in our review of the original See No Evil. So
Yep.
passive aggressive, Dutch Danes, weird, kid with a tongue cut out, parents not sticking up for their kid when kid's being abused by another couple, which is fucking crazy. No one would just sit there and kind of watch that, and then people get pushed off a cliff and stoned
Yeah,
to death.
and through
Done.
the whole time, the whole movie take
Insane.
everything. Not once are they like, "Fuck you guys, we're leaving, and fuck you, we're out of here." And they're like, "Oh,
Well,
we'll
it's
just
'cause
sit
they're
here and
like,
take some more."
whichever one.
Yeah,
The whole thing was like very much in the culture of like Danish and Dutch, right?
yeah,
What was it? One was from Denmark and one was from.
something.
Yeah.
And then they did the weird thing where it's like, we're
It
going
was
to
like a
speak in
commentary on.
3 different languages throughout the whole movie, and sometimes put subtitles and sometimes not. You're like, what is going on here?
I do
So-
like the not putting subtitles sometimes. It creates this like
Same.
unease.
Right, which is fine, but
I mean, it's a cool movie making technique. I feel like
Yeah.
not a lot of people do that.
but
Yeah,
just
it's
don't
done
just
a lot
don't
now.
ebb through it. You know, use it
true.
sometimes and not. You're like,
When
wait,
that
what?
comes out in September.
Mm-hmm.
Speak no.
Yeah,
August. What do you have? Alien, Borderlands, The Crow, Cuckoo. Oh, there's a bunch coming
Yeah.
out. Trapped.
Trapped. There's more
gonna
than
be a
that.
big
too.
month.
There's a
Yeah.
bunch.
I think Aliens is going to do huge.
I'm
It-
really excited.
it will, and people will
but
probably
not that
hate it.
excited.
Yeah,
But
people will
not
probably
that
hate it.
excited.
It'll be a really
People always
great
will hate
movie.
it. Yeah.
It'll be a great movie, and the consensus will be like, that movie is fucking terrible, blah blah blah.
You know what? Like, we don't care what other people think
We
unless they
don't.
tell us it's super awesome. We should go see it, and then it totally isn't, and it makes no fucking sense. Then there's a problem.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
When I watch the Alien trailer,
Not
I
just
know what
some
I'm
people,
getting
it's all
into.
the people.
Yeah. And it looks fine. It looks
Alien
good.
looks scary. It looks
Yeah,
scary.
it looks fun.
It
Even if
does
it's
look
just
fun.
the trailer, this is already a better movie than Longlegs.
Yep. Agreed.
All right.
I think we'll end it on that note. So everyone, thanks for tuning in.
Fuck Longlegs!
Yeah. What Oops said. Join us next time where we'll talk about a better movie. Hopefully, we've been on a streak talking about some shit movies, so we'll do a good one.
I
And
know I
Oz
came
Perkins, we'll catch you outside, buddy.
in. Oh, I promise. I came in so
Got
like
words for
positive. Trying to stay positive.
You're like a man that came back from Nam. You're like, I've seen some shit.
No, it is. I have PTSD. I literally learned. I came out of Twisters like feeling good, serotonin, and I was like, that's what I needed. Country music,
Yep.
good old Christian values, like, just turned me right around. So fuck you, Oz Perkins.
Hello,
Fuck you.
Mr. Fancy Pants.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
You just don't know cinema.
Monster Candy
Scary.
Podcast. Oh yeah.
Burton just looks that big old storm right square in the eye and he says, "Get away from her, you bitch!"
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Your move, creep.
Listen to them. Children of the night. What music they make.
Want some candy?